Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for you guys. Today, guys, of course, you continue the journey of X-Men Evolution, and this is the final episode, the series finale of X-Men Evolution, Season 4, Episode 9, Ascension, Part 2. It's crazy to say, once again, we are now wrapping up another show from start to finish. Of course, unfortunately, a number of episodes back, the return of Spike, that episode is lost due to my computer crashing and everything, and I do apologize for that. But we are wrapping up another show. It's crazy to think that. Literally, it feels like, not really yesterday, but it feels like just a little bit ago, we started the show. We started this journey with this X-Men show that took place after X-Men and 90s at the time when it wrapped up back in the 90s. We had this new X-Men show coming out. And at the time, when I was younger, when this new show came out and was airing and everything, I'm like, no, this is not, no, where's my 90s X-Men? Where's that show? Now X-Men 97 is the thing, but like, I was against X-Men Evolution. Now, I really have enjoyed the show. I've loved the show. I've enjoyed the characters. I've loved the storylines. There's been some problems. The show isn't perfect, but I like the fact that they took a different approach and were trying something different than what the 90s show was doing. So I give them a round of applause for that because they were trying something different. And now we're here wrapping up what I'm assuming, wrapping up the Apocalypse storyline, which realistically should have been more involved in season 4 since he was introduced in season 3 and they had really started ramping it up in season 4 premiere, and then it's hardly been discussed and we've not seen him really at all since the season 4 premiere. So I think the way they went about in showing his new form, which we kind of more understand and realize in terms of Insabanur, in terms of it turning into Apocalypse, the design, the voice, it all works out and everything, and it's really damn cool. And the 4 horsemen of the Apocalypse that Apocalypse has chosen in this show is great as well. I'm curious to see what they're going to do because they've brought in a lot of heavy hitters, a lot of returning characters, and Rogue was sent on a special mission. Not sure what it is, but Wolverine had a special mission for her. Not sure what it is. I guess we'll find out in this episode. But I want to thank each and every one of you for supporting the reactions, for commenting your thoughts, and following along on the journey. And I've even had people commenting saying, hey, I'm rewatching the show after not seeing it for a long time because you're covering it, so I'm following along with you. And I really enjoy seeing those kind of comments to kind of see people like, I watched the show a long time ago, but I'm going to rewatch it along with you. So I'm going to keep up and, watch along. Like, that's really cool that we can kind of have that experience in a sense to where you get to rewatch an episode of a show that you've seen a long time ago. You're rewatching it, and then you get to see my reaction and kind of initial first watch response. I think that's kind of cool to see. That's kind of working out with some people. So that's really, really cool. So for the last time, we're going to dive into X-Men Evolution, and we're going to see what this episode's all about, guys. Ascension Part 2. Wow. Okay. Let's go.
This is it. Everything you've ever learned about yourselves, your strengths and your limits, it all comes down to this very moment. We're the world's last, best hope to stop this madman.
I'm loving the build-up.
So we're gonna trash those pyramids.
The last time I get to watch the intro, it's just hitting me now. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on.
You will be destroying millions of lives.
Ooh, he's not listening. Oh. What is she doing? Oh my god. Oh my god. Kamehameha, basically.
Storm, please!
The thing is, some of these kids, they've been just trained. They've not really been out doing it. And now they have to fight. This is crazy. This is insane.
She's a victim
but,
just like we are.
Oh my god. Oh. Huh?
That's not
Okay.
your father. At least not anymore.
Careful. Careful.
Feel that? Something big just powered up in this place.
What? Careful, careful. Wait. Okay. Blasting the bats. Oh. Damn. Good catch. Careful.
You have to forget he's your father, or we're going to lose this.
Come on. You got to fight back. Go for it. Come on. What is going on?
He needs the pyramids in the higher atmosphere in order to affect the entire planet.
They're breaking apart into smaller pieces. No, we're not. I don't think. Ooh. What? Rogue? But don't cut away. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. My God. Okay, guys, come on. We gotta figure something out. Rising from her ice cocoon. Oh, jeez. Damn. Come on, Wanda. Come on. It's like a... Oh my God, are you kidding me? That's pretty funny. Like they're like... He's too powerful. I don't know.
Sorry, Professor, but I have to do this.
Psychic attack. Psychic fight.
Will help me even the odds.
That shouldn't be able to stop her.
Where are you?
Shit. Damn. Okay.
Magneto.
I mean, makes it easy, yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Aces. Kitty. Come on.
Now you care? She was there freaking last episode telling you to come on. Oh. Damn. Okay, Blob. Holy shit.
Avalanche. Bring them down.
Jesus. He's going to sleep? What the hell?
I'm the evolution begins.
Also interesting that he calls it the evolution. Didn't we hear this one time before in the show from Magneto about the evolution or something? It's like ties into the title of the show. Wow, dude. I mean, I guess he could technically stab her because... Oh. So there really is like a psychic fight, but also like a spirit kind of fight? Oh, I saw that. I saw it. Damn, I saw the Phoenix. I saw what they were doing a little bit there. Holy crap, that could have murdered them all. He's taking it. Oh shit. He's gonna fight back. Yeah. Oh. Damn. Sorted out. Snakes? Holy shit. 2 snakes. Oh my god.
Okay, Miss Leech.
Oh my gosh.
Dorian has to go. Please don't be scared.
Okay, so it's not gonna be him, it's just gonna be her. Dude, okay. Rogue is gonna save the fucking day with his powers. Holy shit.
Hey, we won.
You've used us for the last time.
Careful. Careful. He's stuck. Damn, okay. Locked back in. Dude. Wait, where's he going? Huh? Where's he going?
The things I did, all the things I did,
Oh.
because I save it, Mystique.
Even you don't believe your excuses, so just leave us alone.
Guardian Angel.
Professor,
Thank you, Jean.
We are prepared for what the future brings. I know this because I have glimpsed it in the mind of Apocalypse. But I saw some who have been our enemies become friends, dearest of friends, become the most terrible
No.
of enemies.
Oh my god, the Phoenix. The fucking Phoenix. Oh my
Saw my X-Men
god.
grow and change.
Dude.
Some people
Shield?
never change. But one thing was clear. That
What-
no matter
what?
what awaits us,
New
never
Sentinels?
more wondrous. I am proud.
Ooh, X20. Oh, it makes X23 was in the future thing. Holy shit. And the music's different too at the end. Okay, normally we'd go to the review, and we will in a second, but I want to go through some of these things we just saw here. So, Magneto is at the X Mansion. He's there training and helping. Okay, skip to yeah. And the Phoenix, and look, she's in different. So she's older here, and that's a different kind of like outfit. It's not really like, you know, special, whatever. It's just like, okay, it's obviously a little bit different, like shoulder, like pads or whatever, and then like this more of a black outfit and like kind of the different belts. So it's like a different look for Jean. She's older. It becomes the Phoenix, and they kind of hinted at that when she's having the psychic fight. Okay, interesting. Holy shit, Colossus looks really different here. I like the design of Cyclops. That's kind of cool. And Iceman, I like the design of Iceman. Okay, and there's Kitty. More a buffer looking freaking Nightcrawler. Older Hank Beast, X-23, Rogue, and Storm with like okay, this just makes me so like I want to fucking see this, right? I want to see some of this shit in this unit because this is so cool that maybe we're wrapping the show up, and essentially when Professor X goes into Apocalypse's mind, this is kind of what we're seeing here. Wow, dude. Okay, and then you see it's a Shield. But they're a part of S.H.I.E.L.D. in a sense. And Quicksilver's there too. A quick shot of Quicksilver at the end. But it totally looks even creepier. Blob, I mean, he's okay. It's whatever. Avalanche, okay. Scarlet Witch, of course, she's not going to change. We have new Sentinel designs, clearly. And then this giant group shot, which I think I've seen this image before, but now I understand the context of this shot. Because it would pop up whenever I type in X-Men Evolution or whatever on Google. It's definitely, I think it's a clearer shot than this, but like, I've seen this shot before, but I didn't understand the context. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, what's this? Now I understand more of what's going on here. Okay, this is... Wow. Okay, let's jump to the actual review part now. Let's go. Okay, this was definitely a crazy episode to end X-Men Evolution, to kind of end the season 2, but just to end the show entirely. And I think, as we're going through the kind of like the little highlight clips of where Professor X was kind of seeing into the future through Apocalypse's mind, I think those are really cool. But it also kind of hurts because I kind of want to see this shit unfold. Like, I want to see maybe season 5 we have a time jump where we're doing Phoenix Force. We're getting into the Phoenix shit. But we're jumping ahead in time to build that. Because they've already been teasing that shit. And they teased it again in this episode. But they did tease it seasons back where Jean was losing control of her powers. It's really hinting at Phoenix shit. So they could literally do a time jump in season 5 hypothetically. You know, and start covering this stuff and having... The older the cast just grows up, like the characters grow up, not the cast. The characters grow up a little bit, a number of years. They could have done that. But it's really cool to see, at least we get to see these moments in a sense. We get to see, okay, this is what the future is going to kind of bring for the X-Men, or the kind of, there's some of it. I don't think Apocalypse was truly sent away. I like the kind of how it was worded. Rogue's like, I don't think it's gonna be that easy that he just slipped through time and shit. Apocalypse would return at some point. I think using his name's Leech. I think his name was Leech. They introduced him, of course, in the episode that got lost, unfortunately, with my computer crashing, but using him and using Rogue as kind of the vessel of his powers to stop Apocalypse was probably the best way to go about it in terms of actually fighting Apocalypse, because the way they were kind of setting it up is how powerful he is, even before he transformed from Insabanor to Apocalypse in the part 1 of Ascension here, last episode, where he turned into the more traditional looking Apocalypse as we know. How powerful he was. Like, how do you stop him exactly? Because when he brought the 4 Horsemen, which was Mystique, Storm, Professor X, and Magneto, how do you stop? And especially with them saying over and over and over, in a sense, in different ways, and showing them in their abilities, that their powers have been amplified because of Apocalypse's kind of control. How do you stop them? So the idea is, okay, we have to stop the actual source. We have to stop Apocalypse. So we have to literally cut the kind of connection. And so using his abilities, when Rogue took him, and all she had to do was touch his little face. Thankfully his mom agreed, because if she didn't, holy shit, the world could turn in, it'd be a disaster, right? It would have been clusterfuck. Now, something too, don't want to compare it too much to X-Men 97, because X-Men 97, of course, has more kind of leniency in terms of what the show is doing versus here, because X-Men Evolution only had one real major like character that was not an X-Men or a mutant in the show, Captain America. In X-Men 97, they've done a lot more stuff showing the kind of expanded, even though the 90s cartoon shows, Marvel back then, was Spider-Man, X-Men, all that. They were doing a lot of connective stuff and everything. Incredible Hulk, all that. Like there was a lot of overlapping stuff at points, or at least connections they were doing within the '90s shows. X-Men Evolution didn't have that. So when you're cutting to showing the world kind of starting to being affected by, you know, the change Apocalypse is going to do, it would have been an interesting thing to kind of see, okay, how would, like, are there Avengers? I don't think so, because the way they've kind of been established and kind of doing with the show, that mutants, like their whole turning point, but there's never been any discussion of other kind of heroes besides Cap. So I guess the idea is there is no other real heroes, at least if they are, they're not really, they're kind of hidden in the shadows like the X-Men kind of were at a point. So I'm guessing showing heroes wouldn't make sense, because in this world, it seems like mutants are kind of the only real thing, and they have the X-Men, but there's no other mention of other heroes, and maybe it's because they just didn't have the rights to do it, or they weren't allowed to do it. I'm not really sure. But I think they handled the characters they were doing very well. Of course, they had a huge variety of characters, but a lot of them, I think, had their moments to shine throughout the show, some more than others. But I think this was, in my opinion, a great way, especially a two-parter, a great way to wrap up the show and to really highlight some of the characters that we got to see throughout the years, or at least through the years in terms of what the show is airing. But throughout the time we've been watching the show here on the channel, we've been able to see a lot of them come back. Even Spike, even though I'm not really the biggest fan of Spike, I'm not really a big fan of the character, but it was cool to see all these characters, and there was a lot of fighting. Like, they didn't cut the connection from Apocalypse to the Four Horsemen until quite some time into the episode, because I thought it was going to be sooner. No, it actually took quite a bit longer, and I honestly thought Professor X was going to be part of the reason why Apocalypse gets defeated. No, he was literally under control the entire time. He couldn't do anything. Rogue had to be the one to do it. And the line, I'm not sure if it's kept in the reaction, but the line from Kurt, Nightcrawler, saying, you know, the girl that was kind of hiding herself away from the world, save the world. I thought that was a nice line. Then Mystique is trying to apologize again, and Kurt and Rogue were in a really bad spot, because Rogue pushed Mystique off, you know, and there's still no real answer to how Mystique is alive, right? There's just no way. I don't know, because she was turning into stone and Rogue pushed her off, so she realistically shouldn't be back at all, but she was like made out of clay or something, because when she got like hit with like the blast or whatever, there was a hole in her stomach and then it formed back up again. I don't fucking know if that's even Mystique anymore. I think it is, but you get my point. Like, I don't even know. I'm gonna miss the show. Ultimately, I'm just gonna miss the show. I had a great time with it. I think they did, like I was mentioning, a really good job. There are some episodes and storylines that I really wasn't a fan of too much, or it really wasn't, it's just like, okay. But I get it, because this show was not made in thinking for older audiences. I mean, it's made for, I guess, all ages, in terms of like, okay, anybody can enjoy this, because I'm definitely not a kid, and I'm enjoying the show, right? And there's still some people, and I love this too, people commenting saying, you're a grown-ass man reacting to kid. Like, okay, so am I only supposed to react and watch like TVMA shit? Is that all I'm allowed to do? Am I not allowed to have fun and watch like shows and movies that are based off of like stuff that I grew up like watching and loving and enjoying, that made me who I am today? Am I not allowed to do that? And I guess not. But for me, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed the show. I'm glad that I gave it a shot. I'm glad you guys voted for it, because I was against it. As I was saying in the intro, and I've said quite a bit from time to time through these videos, I was against the show, you know, when it was first airing. And so I'm glad that it finally came around. And honestly, like, I was just so close-minded back then on certain things. Like, I just wasn't willing to accept a new X-Men show. And I'm glad that I checked this show out. You know, when I reacted to Wolverine and the X-Men a little while ago, I was really taken aback by how great the show was. Only one season, unfortunately. It's really stupid how they didn't get a second season. They had plans, they had all this shit, and then they're like, never mind. But to see this show last for 4 seasons is great. It really deserved it. Now, I know this show's never going to come back. Well, then again, we thought the 90s show would never come back, but I don't think the show's ever going to return in any form of capacity. I don't know if there's any comics related or tied into this show. It would be cool if they did. I'm not sure, like I said, I don't know. So I definitely want to look into kind of what the plans were. And I might do like a separate video potentially looking over and trying to find stuff that was talked about for a potential season 5, or continuing what's next for the show, if there is any. So I'm going to look into that. So if there is any of that, I might do a video on that. We'll see about that. But to me, this was a great way to wrap up the show, to have all these characters return and all of them having their moments. Now, there are certain characters that didn't return, but we had a lot of heavy hitters and a lot of great returns. Even though Angel was there, he didn't really fight. We didn't get to see him do anything at all. He was just kind of there. So I feel like that's just due to time cutting in terms of like having to cut shit for time. And it's unfortunate because honestly, I think it would have been cool if like instead of a 2-part finale, this would have been a 4-part finale. Because after all, Last Airbender did it. And now that's a very different situation. But imagine if this was a 4-part finale, right? Imagine if we had more time with these characters and more time with Apocalypse leading up to the evolution, as he was calling it, which ties back to the title. I think that would have been cool. But in terms of what they pulled off and accomplished here with this show, and especially here the 2-part finale, wrapping up the entirety of the show, job well done, and especially the end little bits there with like kind of seeing the future stuff. I think that was really cool because it gives us as an audience knowing that the characters that there are still that the stories continued. We unfortunately just don't get to see them, you know, but we know that things continued on. We know that the Phoenix Force came along at some point. We know that does take place. We know that for some reason the Brotherhood, in a sense, like they joined Shield because there's a Shield logo there for some reason, and the X-Men change with X-23 there, and there's a couple of older members, and the question is, okay, so what happens? What happened to like, is Professor X no longer around in that team? Like, he's not there in that team shot. Obviously, he's not an X-Men. Like, he's just, you know, being there as Professor X, being on a point. We also think, like, where's Logan at? Did he retire and, like, he's just not around or something? There's a lot of questions, and not even, Spike wasn't even a part of the X-Men in that shot. So there's a lot of questions surrounding, like, what could have been in the terms of the future. Like that, like I said, the shots were really cool in terms of seeing those moments. Some people are probably going to ask me, you know, like, do I consider this? Because some people have been asking, hey man, like, how do you, like, where do you rank this show in terms of all the Marvel stuff? And for me, to me, this is probably one of the better Marvel shows. It's definitely not perfect, but I think it's definitely one of the better Marvel shows because they did their own thing and they wanted to stand out and be on. They definitely paid homage in some instances to the '90s show. Of course, this, you know, this aired a couple years after the '90s show ended. But they were doing their own thing, and like I said, I gave them a round of applause for doing something different, to try something different. Because if they literally tried to do what the '90s show was doing after it ended, and then they brought the show up, and they were just trying to do what the '90s show was doing, but changed up some of the characters, but they realistically were just like making it seem like, you know, they're trying to kind of just do what that show was doing, and not try to do something different. With the majority of the characters being in high school and shit. And it's kind of how they approached certain characters and how they were just making differences and changes, because Shadowcat Kitty was not a part of the '90s. I think she was in the '90s, like for a smidge. I don't even remember. I don't think she was in the original '90s run. Maybe she wasn't. But Kitty's a very important character in this show, right? And there's certain other characters, like villains and other characters in general, that were hardly touched on or never touched on in the '90s show that they brought forth and were really focusing on here. So I feel like that just shows the difference in what they were trying to accomplish. And I think they did a pretty damn good job of doing that, to make it feel different tonally and just art style and just design of the characters and storylines. They were trying something different, and I think that they pulled it off in a pretty damn good way. So yeah, so overall, I'm gonna miss the show. It really is unfortunate. It's done now. That there literally is no more episodes, but I'm definitely gonna look into seeing what could have been, if there is any potential discussion out there of what the future could have been for the show. But I had a great time, and I thank you guys so much once again for supporting the reactions, supporting the videos, and for commenting your thoughts and being a part of the discussion about this show. And thank you for voting for the show as well, because I believe it was voted on one, I think. Because I know sometimes when I do a poll, the second most voted on show, I also decide to pick and, you know, just go ahead and just do it. So, but regardless, I thank you guys for really pushing and wanting me to do this show and commenting your thoughts and following along on the journey with me. And yeah, so they'll always be there if you guys ever want to go back and watch them. And maybe one day I'll try to get that Spike video, you know, the one that got lost, unfortunately, due to my computer crashing. Maybe I'll try to find a way to save that video. I'm not sure if it'll ever happen, but yeah, I thank you guys so much for supporting the videos, and I can't wait to see what's next, because I'm pretty sure I know what show is next after this, but I haven't shut the polls down yet, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is. But X-Men Evolution has come to a close, and I thank you all for watching the content, and I hope you guys stick around for other videos on the channel, other shows that I'm covering, and I appreciate you guys for supporting X-Men Evolution reactions on the channel. Anyways, the show's done. It's unfortunate. But at the same time, it's bittersweet. But But it's also great that we've come to the conclusion of what the show was doing, and it's 4 seasons. Should have been longer, though, for season 4. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.